Jacques, your fibre business, you own Frogfoot, and it's been expanding quite aggressively over the last couple of years. And you've had a focus particularly on secondary towns, and tell us how the take-up has been going there.
Duncan, yeah, I think we've learned quite a few lessons over the last 18 months. Initially, all the fibre, all the infrastructure providers focused on the primary towns. Won't say we're reaching saturation levels yet, but it's getting close to that. And obviously the excitement in this fibre business is how big is your network. Mm-hmm. So the next obvious area of growth for us was secondary towns.
Yeah.
This year we started rolling out in Nelspruit, Polokwane, Richards Bay, seen very, very good uptake there. The levels are the same that we're seeing in the primary towns. We also launched an initiative to roll out 20,000 homes in Soweto, Protea and Protea Glen. Penetration levels slightly slower in the beginning, but confident. I mean, it's gone better than we expected.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk in the last year or two about the township market, particularly as an opportunity for fibre operators. And you say it is early days still, but do you think that, and Soweto may indeed be a unique case, but do you think if the Soweto rollout works, there's going to be an opportunity to roll out fibre to the home in townships across the country?
Definitely. I think the trick lies in the packaging. So we're seeing most of the packages being bought are the lower end, your 10 meg packages. But I think that's a pricing thing.
Yeah.
Over time, price will come down and more of the bigger packages will be bought as the price comes down. The second thing is there's a big market for prepaid. Mm-hmm. That market does not want to be tied into a contract, even though it's a month-to-month contract. The money that he's got available today, he'll decide will he spend it or not. And then I think there's an opportunity for customized services, local caching of content provided to them at a fraction of the Netflixes of the world. I think there's a big opportunity. Mm-hmm. But if we talk townships, maybe just to close off on that, initially it's going to be limited to the neighbouring townships, your Alexandra, Mitchell's Plain, Tembisa, etc., etc. It's going to take some time before your township outside Wolmaranstad will have fibre.
Sure. So maybe just take us through how you see the fibre infrastructure market playing out in the next, I know 5 years is probably too far out to predict, but over the next 2 or 3 years. Consolidation, I presume?
Definitely. I think we're still in the phase of land grab, no doubt about that. There will be a point where rolling out fibre will not be feasible, or your return on investment will be too long, and I think that's where it will stop. Definitely consolidation. We're finding lots of fibre providers in little isolated islands. It's going to be economically unfeasible for that guy to survive. He doesn't have scale, he's got expensive backhaul, he can't grow his network. So ultimately they will have either no choice to sell or they will just be a natural overbuild. But the market will consolidate. You can see that happening.
And do you think we'll end up in a situation where we have only 2 or 3 national fibre providers?
I think a little bit more.
Okay.
I think there'll be space for 5 or 6 ones, and it will be a very competitive environment. Mm-hmm. What we are seeing on the business side, though, is that there's a massive deflation happening. Mm-hmm. Prices probably dropped already 30-40%. We see it going down by another 30-40%. Yes, it might sound negative, but I think there's a real upside in terms of that because the price points are coming down, it's opening up the market.
Yeah.
So a customer who used to pay 500 Rand for his DSL, 300 Rand for ISP services, 300 Rand for a voice, he can now get a 50 meg fibre line at that same price point consolidated. Mm-hmm. So typically your sorbet, the hairdressers, they would never have taken up fibre at these price points that we get today. That market is open.
Yeah. And what role do you see Frogfoot playing in the consolidation of this industry?
Very aggressive role. I can't give away those secrets. So we originally opted to roll out just over 150,000 homes this year. Our target is to get to just under the 400,000 in 18 months. So there's two forces. One is drive your own rollout more aggressively, and secondly is let's look at acquisitions.
Vox has been an early player in the Internet of Things or IoT space, and I know you particularly focused initially on the agriculture side of things. How's that agriculture IoT business going, and maybe take us through some of the other interesting applications you're starting to look at around IoT?
So I'll take you through some learnings. I think the agricultural space is exciting. I mean, it's great to see how open-minded the farmers are. Unfortunately, the market is limited. That I think is one of the downsides. The shift that I've seen in the last 18 months is IoT in its true sense or traditional sense was big industrial deployments, automation of factories, mining, very slow sales cycle, low adoption rate, very, very expensive. And while the economy is not booming, you get less and less spend at that top end level. Where we're seeing a great uptick is at the consumer and SME. Guy that says, listen, I just want to put a leak detector under a fridge or in my geyser drip tray. If there's a problem, alert me. A lot of those products being moved. I think we're seeing a level of increasing maturity both from a platform provider and a hardware manufacturer. You know, I've been going to these IoT conferences around the world, and in the beginning it was vaporware. Test this box is in POC. Now you're starting to see the same vendor, year 2, year 3, year 4, they're there, the product has matured, it's stable, the price points have come down. So I'm very confident about that market.